inspire, host, create, explore endless new possibilities, next level broadcasting. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Welcome back to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I am your host, April. Welcome back to Teachable Moments with April. We'll be talking with Miss Mary, and this is kind of a freestyle. Whatever comes to our mind, we will talk about it. So we're in Miss Mary's kitchen, and this is usually where we sit if I've never said that before, and we just kind of talk, and we don't have a set subject for today, but I did suggest something to Miss Mary about what we could start off talking about is, this is the holiday season, Thanksgiving just passed or whatever. This is, I guess, would be considered Thanksgiving weekend. And something curious, and I'm sure that you guys have been experiencing too, you keep hearing periodically, some people may hear it more so than others, about the shortages for everything. And they say there's shortages from food to chips for your car, cars in general, all kinds of merchandise. So if there's a shortage, then why are I feel like we're being bombarded by advertisements, whether it be on your devices, on regular TV, and so forth and so on, to buy stuff. Like, really, if there's nothing there and there's a shortage, why is there such a big push for this? What do you think, Miss Mary?
This has got me very confused. Mine go back to when they said our nice transportation commissioner, Mr. Buttigieg, was somewhere on his maternity leave because him and his wife had gotten a husband or whatever, had gotten adopted a baby, right. And everything was sitting on in the crates somewhere, and we couldn't get them. And I never understood why they can't get them. I haven't gotten an answer that I can deal with. But speaking of the holidays, which is shopping, a few things came to mind to me while April was speaking. They were saying on the television, I believe it was YouTube, and they were saying about there would be a shortage of butter, sugar, and things that I usually buy or supply of. Now, when I went into my store that I shop in, and I was knocked off my feet, they had butter, name brand butter, on sale for $1.99. So if there's a shortage, how do you have all this butter stacked up here in this case? And they were saying that you could get up to 10 packs at the $1.99 price. I just don't get what they are saying about this here. They said about the sugar. Every store that I stopped in, that I usually shop in, they had the bags of sugar for $1.99. That's a reasonable price for a bag of sugar. So I got enough sugar to last me for the next 10 years, I say. And same with the butter. So where is the shortage? I was watching television the other day, and I centered in on one thing, was the restaurant. They were talking about how you should all these foods you can get, and pizzas, they got all kind of sit down type. Where did their food come from?
I see what you're saying. So let's focus on one particular food in general.
Okay.
Well, not in general, specifically bacon. So they said it's a shortage in bacon.
Right.
And then on Inside Edition, did you see that Inside Edition?
Man.
Where they showed you how to make bacon.
With
pork belly, and it's a process.
Right.
Okay, for those who are ambitious enough for it. But then after they did that, you've seen commercials online as well as on your TV for all of these restaurants. Let's use McDonald's, okay, as an example. And it seemed to be everything that was in, whether it be from your breakfast egg McMuffin or breakfast sandwich to burgers and stuff like that they sell, had nothing but bacon, bacon, bacon. So how are these restaurant chains, because it allegedly, and I use allegedly in all capital letters, for everyone, whether you be a consumer buying for your home, for restaurants, they said for schools, so forth. How are these restaurant chains getting all this bacon and showing all of these commercials for everything that includes bacon, whether it be a breakfast sandwich or a burger? How are they getting the bacon if there is in fact allegedly a shortage?
Now that's a good question. I don't have an answer for that. I know when I go into the store, the bacon does have a high price on it. It's not like it used to be, but however, I haven't seen any shortage of the bacon. I know the prices has gone up, but there's a plenty bacon in the store, all different brands that you want. So I go down the aisle and I look at them and I compare prices. The prices is higher. But there is no shortage there with the bacon. I have never seen one place in the store or any stores that I have shopped that had no bacon.
So to push the narrative there is a shortage, and this is why we have to drive these prices up. You mentioned before I turned on the recording for us here for this podcast is that you have also seen with your eyes, and they spoke about it online as well as on TV, of people having pictures of food, or drinks or merchandise. Where did you see that? You said you looked at inside. Now wasn't something that you bought. Was it alcoholic beverages? Was it beer that you spoke of before I turned this on?
Yeah.
It's a picture.
I went into Walgreens,
okay.
And I was purchasing cheese. See that they have any cheese slices. Mm-hmm. I like their cheese, their brand of cheese slices, and believe it or not, toilet paper. And I happened to go. Yeah. So after that, I went and now for cheese and the freezer for the beer. Mm-hmm. And pizzas, the frozen items, is all across the aisle.
Right.
And I kept seeing this paper moving, and I'm thinking, why is that paper moving?
From the blowers.
So I opened up the door, and there was nothing in there. It was just pictures of all the things that's supposed to be in there. And I stood there for the longest. I'm sure the other consumers must thought I was really, really crazy, because I stood there for the longest looking at why do they have pictures of what it's supposed to be.
Poster size, you would say.
It was definitely poster size.
Okay.
And colorful too.
Normally would be in there, but it's a big poster. Mm-hmm. But due to the blowers to the frozen food, it was moving, which obviously
got my attention.
That doesn't move if it's real.
Right. So I'm looking at it because I watch a lot of scary movies and stuff, and I'm looking like, okay, it's just one of those moments. But I ventured over, left my cart and ventured over, and I opened the door, and nothing was in there. It was just the picture on the outside. And I'm still looking, and I couldn't figure out why would they put pictures of What was supposed to be in there?
Okay, now this again, Inside Edition. I'm an avid watcher, and I know that you are. Sometimes we miss it or whatever. They spoke on and did an expo on these pictures or posters
Right.
of merchandise. I'm not going to always say it's food, but it does tend to be that way of being where the merchandise should be.
Right.
I don't really know why they're doing it, because even though if they're great pictures, you're going to know that this is not actual who is this for? Who is this for?
I haven't a clue.
Why are we doing this?
I have a lot of questions. I still don't have any answers. I still don't understand why Buttigieg haven't gotten all those crates
now
on the move, and I just don't understand it.
I saw something the other day, in speaking of being bombarded by a lot of information and a lot of different things. And I did see a video that I watched in its entirety on YouTube, and it showed someone, and I wish I could remember. I'll go back. I should have it now, but I don't. Of someone actually interviewing people that are on those barges and the thing. So I wanna say this now. I don't personally blame whoever. There's everybody's cogs or parts in a certain machine of work, okay, or professions. And these people, I didn't see any women, but gentlemen were saying that they were getting some flack from people coming up to them and saying certain things to them, not understanding that they are not personally responsible or at fault. And that's not what I'm trying to do, and I know Miss Mary is not too. We're just trying to understand, because I'll admit I don't really know all the steps that are required and maybe I should know. So I have appreciation for everybody's job that's involved in getting our merchandise to us before it's in the store. So I just want to let you know, people who are listening, that I appreciate you. But this is what one of the gentlemen was saying. He said people don't understand, and they're coming up to him because they know what kind of work he does, and they're basically angry at him personally for not getting this stuff to him. He said there are not trucks lined up here to get this merchandise. He said for his particular job, and I forgot what it was, he said that that's not what the case. If they were to get it, where do we put it after that? They have a problem. Well, where are we going to put it? Then they showed whatever machines that they use and taking them one by one. And that kind of got me wondering too, if there is a shortage and it's affecting schools. That's the first time I knew that there was anything necessarily wrong, along with Miss Mary telling me that she had started to notice in the stores that there were shelves that were empty.
Yes.
And then I started to come across accounts of people and that actually with their phones going inside stores and showing the empty shelves. And then there was a gentleman that I won't forget. He's from another part of the country, and he was saying that he noticed that too. And then when he went back in, he saw a sign. It was Walmart, and they were renovating the store. So he said, "Oh, okay." And then when he went in the store, he seemed like the lanes or the aisles were smaller, like they were narrower. And he said he was a healthy guy, and he was like, okay, what's going on? It seemed like it's a little tight up in here. And then they started to move certain merchandise and take shelves out. He really started to look, and he says, okay, wait a minute here, something is happening here. So everybody seems like they're pointing the finger at other people, but why is this happening?
I have an answer for it.
Is there really a shortage?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I really don't. I haven't had a shortage of anything. Toilet paper, paper towels. I see people rushing in the store, just cleaning as many paper towels and toilet paper down they could get. One guy had a cart. I don't know, did he have a daycare or he was doing it for the school? He had a cart full of nothing but milk, and I'm looking like, and I don't know how many loaves of bread, but
is there really?
But I don't see a shortage. I haven't went to the store not one time shopping, and I'm an average shopper because I look for bargains. and I haven't found anything that I was looking for. There was a shortage. I see the price is high.
Okay.
But not the merchandise. Except, well, I don't drink beer, and I wasn't looking for no Jack's Pizza, so I was in Walgreens, so no. I don't know why they keep putting it out there, and now they pushing the thing about us buying cars. Well, they saying that there's a shortage of parts for the car. How they keep on making these cars?
The chips that are in the cars, but you are bombarded. If you just general observation, you're sitting there, whether you're online or you're just watching your TV, whatever type of TV you have or device, and it's like a hammer, someone hammering it. So if there is all of these shortages, it's like it's shortage, and then on the other side it's buy, and you're like, okay, if there's a shortage, there's nothing to buy, right?
Well, I have an older SUV, and I've been having it worked on. I told my neighbor, I said, I got to keep it patched up for at least a year, 6 months to a year, because I wouldn't be able to get a car because there's no parts for it. But that's not true. I mean, there's no car I could afford because it's too expensive. They don't have the parts to make the cars, the new cars, or nothing like that. But everywhere I go, I see the dealership got sales on cars.
Right.
But so you can go in.
So how did you get these cars if there is a shortage?
And you don't have the parts to put in to make a move. You ain't got no, but you got the cars and the parts. So what are you saying to me? I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand. Is there a shortage or is there not a shortage? It can't be.
Is this a way of driving up consumerism? It
has to be.
Because you're playing and manipulating things to make it seem like it's a shortage. Okay. And then at the same time, and you have to hurry up and you got to get this because it's all running out. And then it's not even double, it's triple. A lot of things are triple the price. But yet on the other end, what you're saying, Miss Mary, is that you've seen things like sugar and butter that was affordable.
Right. Very affordable.
Okay. So.
And you don't have to go to Aldi. You can go to any other store and you can find it on sale. I mean, they don't have just a small amount. They have a whole little section with nothing but butter stacked up there. They got sugar stacked up to the thing. You can get all the sugar there. You ain't got a limit on the sugar. You can get as much sugar as you want to. I went to two different stores and bought sugar because I just happened to be, and I said, that's the same price I seen at the other store. So I got some more sugar.
You notice what this kind of reminds me of is when the pandemic started.
Yes.
Okay, and it had to do with a shortage of what they call it, PPE, for people who worked in healthcare. And then they were saying that it was a shortage, and then they were saying that in the beginning, is that we didn't need masks, and there was this mask shortage, and then for our particular city that we live in, they wanted people to donate whatever masks they had. As a person, what kind of work I do, I didn't have any masks, so you think it's this mass shortage of masks, and then after a certain amount of time, maybe a week, maybe more than a week, they said that was fulfilled. This thing. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. And then they turned around and said that now the people needed masks. But the people that had the masks in their homes, for whatever reason, had given all the masks away. And now they were selling the masks to you because you needed them.
Right. Sold them back, sold your free mask back to you for a price. And now they still saying, even if you've been gotten your COVID.
Right, that you still.
And you still need to wear a mask. I don't know if that just save you from the people that didn't get it. I don't know what's the reason for it, but then you still got a mask. You can't tell one masked person from the other because everybody wearing the mask. When you get to the door of a store, They have a big sign up there. No service without a mask.
Right. Yeah, this is seeming kind of reminiscent of that. And before they did the whole, they did say you need a mask. I'm going to also add this in here before they sold it back. They said, I remember distinctly, and I was disturbed by it. They had a gentleman, a representative that was saying on the news, the local news says, you did need a mask, but it didn't necessarily have to be a hospital grade. It could be a rag. That's what he said, a rag. I remember completely. And I sat there looking at the TV like, a rag, and just put it around your mouth and your nose area. And that didn't last very long. And then that's when they jumped in and said, oh no, that is not correct. That's not going to help you. And then they had people that were retired, men and women, who were seamstress, tailors, or whatever you want to call it, to make the cloth mask. That was the birth of the cloth mask with all the designs on it. And they donated it to frontline workers, firefighters, and only to have it sent back and say that these are no good.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, but you just had this guy say a rag. He used, I am not a rag. He did a rag. I heard him. He said a rag twice in two different press updates that they update. And I said, a rag? Okay. When I think of a rag, I think of something that I clean the furniture or I clean my house with. You're just going to pick up a random rag and tie it around your face. Does that seem like that's for something that's a supervisor? Okay. But I am not a doctor, and nor will I ever be. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening to Teachable Moments with April. If you did enjoy this episode, I invite you to come right back to check out my podcast and my other episodes. Don't forget to listen, add us to your favorites, and support by clicking on the link in the description. As always, be blessed and be well. Until next time.